Good morning. Good morning. It's actually Labor Day, Monday. It's 2:30 a.m. and I'm gonna tell you something, and I hope it helps. I woke up with this crazy sense of anxiety and this sense of fear, and I did not know where it was coming from. I did not know um, what was what was bringing it on. But that's not even the point of what it is that I want to focus on. Is that it was happening to me, and I thought it was and this is going to seem strange for you guys who have had anxiety and fear and, oh, am I making the wrong decision? Am I wasting my time? Is it going to work out? What's going to happen? Oh my God, this is not going to be good. And the doctor, I'm waiting on them to give me a response back on my results. And these bills are coming up. And what if I get fired? What if I injure myself? What if, what if, what if I die before I'm ready? Right? And that's what anxiety is. It's a rush of everything. It's a rush of everything and not being able to get a hold of anything. And the more it kept coming at me, the more I thought it was kind of funny. Not funny, haha, but funny, like okay, like why me? Why Monday morning? Why Labor Day? Why? What did I do? What did I create? What have I been thinking about that has brought this up? And I couldn't come up with an answer to that. So I just started thinking about who I can help today. Dead serious. Dead serious. Who can I help today? What can I do to help somebody? I don't know why that came up, but I started feeling that anxiety go away and be replaced with who can I help? Who can I help? Then I started thinking about the year I've had. Then I started thinking about health and my agenda and what I have to do and what I'm thankful for. And I started going through all these thoughts, and it started going away a little bit more. It started subsiding. And to the point where I looked and I was like, dude, everything couldn't be going better. It could be going better. So then I started thinking, man, I can share what I'm thinking this morning, but if things are going good, how is anybody going to be able to relate to you when things ain't going the best? The car's broken down, the job you work at you don't like, your paycheck to paycheck, your credit score sucks, you can't buy a home, even though that's what I sell, and you watch my videos and you're like, I'd like to do that, I'd like to be a part of that. Your friends are 50-50. Your relationship with God is 50-50. Your health isn't the best. You want to stop smoking cigarettes. You want to stop drinking alcohol. You want to eat healthier. So how do I convey that feeling of anxiety? And then I started thinking anxiety has got to be some type of DNA thread, and not necessarily one that was passed down, but one that we generate within ourselves from over time going through things. Failure, self-imposed failure, self-imposed loss, self-imposed upper limiting. right? But just so you know, I'm not superhuman. I'm not superhuman or a superhero. I'm not made out of steel. I can't. I'm not the person who is saying, well, I only need 2 hours of sleep. Nothing in this world bothers me. I have it fully under control, and I am a millionaire to boot, and I am the most handsome individual in the world. That would be too perfect. That would be too much like, oh my God, this fool is a joke. But what if I told you about all my financial struggles? What if I told you about lights being turned off? What if I told you about every car that we had breaking down literally in the same day after we spent our last dollar to get it fixed, and then coming up and not having anything on the way to go pick up the kids from daycare on the hottest day of the year? What about if I told you a story about putting my children to sleep and not knowing what's going to happen with the roof over their head? Right? You guys who are parents, you understand that. You know that. You know that. When your home is in jeopardy, when you're doing the best you can to keep it together so your kids don't know that there's a problem, that we don't know where we might live. This is in the last year. This is in the last year. But I have a fighting spirit. I have a faith that is big. When things were looking all bad, I had to constantly keep telling my wife, we'll get it. It'll work. Just believe. And I kept getting up earlier and earlier so that I can get more out of my day. So I understand. I understand. I also know that you can put your faith in God. See, I learned to put my faith in God when the preacher man asked me one day inside of a juvenile detention kitchen hall, when he said, "You've tried everything your way. He said, now why don't you give God a shot? You've done everything you could do. You've done everything to the best of your interest. Now why don't you just give over and let God just let him handle it?" And at that point, I was ready to try anything. I'd have been like, if they had told me take this blue pill, I'd been like, all right. I was tired. You talking about 14 years old. Now you might be thinking, well, you were 14, you knew God. Yeah, but see, I didn't give my life to God at 14. I decided to start investigating who God was. But I hadn't given my life to him. And I kept going through things. But see, I know now that everything I went through then was simply to make me the person that I am now. The person I am now is not perfect, but I give it a perfect effort. I give it a perfect effort every time. So when I talk about anxiety, my anxiety is coming from a DNA strand that was somewhere still down in there. but you fight back by simply reminding yourself of who I can help. See, now I'm giving you a formula, a recipe that you can use to come out of that. Who can I help? Maybe I can pick up the phone of somebody who I know is going through something, and maybe I can say something to make them feel good. I remember when I didn't feel good, I would find there was always two people. There was always two people that I could get on the phone with, and I never had to talk about my problems. I could just talk to them, and maybe the issue would come up, but it would come up in a way where it could be resolved fairly fast, and the conversation could go back to something very light. Who can you help? And better yet, what are you thankful for? Because see, when anxiety comes at you, it's telling you that you have nothing to be thankful for. And matter of fact, the world is coming against you. And when you feel like the whole world is coming against you, it's kind of hard to be thankful in that situation. But you got to pull out and you got to say, what am I thankful for? God, you woke me up this morning. Because you remember times when you done been so deathly ill that you almost felt like you wanted to die, and you come out of that. Think back to that moment that you felt that way and say, man, I'm so thankful for I don't feel that way, because at that moment I would have given up anything just to feel better. It wouldn't have been about a car. It wouldn't have been about more money. It wouldn't have been about finding me the right spouse. It'd have been about just get rid of this headache and I will give you anything. You got to start finding those moments, those small moments that add up, those very small moments that you can be thankful for in your life, that you can give thanks for at the moment where anxiety and fear starts coming at you. And I guarantee in a matter of seconds, pop. That sounds like something Tony Robbins might say, but it's true. It's true because the mind is looking for something to grab onto. And it's so easy to grab onto what is wrong. You got to start reconditioning and reprogramming the mind to start grabbing onto what's right. That's why I'm telling you, I've dealt with it. I've been through it. I get it. I just went through it this morning, but I had to come out of it and say, hold up. What's going on? This ain't real. This ain't true. That's not possible. That's not reality. That's not what's going on. And you can beat it too. You know, in an ideal situation, and I think I'm just now coming around to these points, is that I would like to have more successful people around me. I would like to have more people doing good. I'd like to have more people up on top of their game. I'd like to share more information that I know. I'd like to be around more like-minded individuals, because when you don't have that kind of synergy, you have a gap and a divide mentally where people are hating and they're angry at one another, and they're not angry at one another for the right reasons. They're angry because you're doing better and you're doing something, and now you have to sever that relationship because it's toxic. It's a toxic relationship. And when your intentions is to get somewhere and your intentions is to be the best you can be, it's not possible to entertain toxic relationships. But when you have somebody in your life that may be not happy with what they're doing at their job, and they might not be financially where they need to be, and those are all things that they can change themselves, because you ain't got to go on to work today. Well, who's going to pay my bill? Well, I guess nobody will. Maybe God will. But I much rather have a bill problem than have a life problem. If my biggest problem is how I'm going to pay my bill, well, my answer is not go find a job. For me. That's how I think. You can beat anxiety, you can beat fear, and you can become the best person you possibly can be by simply giving thanks, by simply being grateful, by simply understanding that your life has seemed worse before. And all you really need to do is just come back to the conclusion that you've seen worse. And you can make a change. I'm not made out of some super strength material. I'm a human. I bleed. I hurt. I cry. I'm sad. I can be affected. But I also know when the devil's trying to play some type of game that I'm not down with, that I'm not buying into it. I'm not going for it. It's not happening. And you have the same ability and the same strengths. All you gotta do is implement them. That's it.